So you all should see a slide that says welcome, get started on it. Do you all see that?
Yes.
Perfect. So what is AMP? You all sound like you've downloaded, that you have friends on it, or you've checked it out. So it sounds like you all have a pretty good idea of what AMP is. But the way that we think about it over here is that AMP is an interactive live audio app where you can flex your music taste. So certainly there are a variety of shows, a variety of genres, from talk shows to music shows. But the most exciting experience is that you can share your music taste and you can interact with people in real time while you do it. So, a couple of things to note is that you can choose from the music that's available in our Amazon Music library. So, as you all probably saw, Emily, I know you were there from the beginning, but as you all saw, that AMP is a part of the Amazon Music family. So that's why you had to use your Amazon credentials when you logged in. And so the music that you're using on AMP, it comes from the Amazon Music library. So you can choose from the millions of songs that's available for your shows. So you don't have to worry about preloading anything or adding music. It's already there for you for free. As I mentioned, you can interact with people in real time. So we'll get to see what that looks like whenever you are testing your own show. And you can get paid from our Creator Fund. So, what is the Creator Fund? This is our monthly fund where we pay creators for creating shows. So we evaluate the fund and we evaluate the creators every month, and you have the option or the potential to earn anywhere from a couple of hundreds to thousands of dollars for the shows that you are creating. A lot of questions. The main question that I get when I talk about the Creator Fund is, what is the criteria? What is it that I have to do? All you have to do is create at least two shows, and then you're eligible for our Creator Fund. So that is pretty much the gist of the fund. All you have to do is create shows, be consistent, have fun while doing it, and you have the option to potentially earn from the fund. So typically from here, I like to go to testing out shows, but I'm going to pause to see if there are any questions about anything before I move on. So Dope Boy, it looks like you do have questions, but you're on mute, so I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
One of my questions was, is there a particular amount of time that you have to spend doing it as well? And
So it's oh, go ahead.
and the other one was, can you do it from like a desktop PC at all?
Yep, those are really good questions. So to answer your first question, is there a particular amount of time? The answer to that question is no. We see it range on AMP. I will say that for your shows, you want to pick a schedule and a time and stick with that so that your listeners know when you'll be live and they'll know when, to come back. The other thing with that is that because you're live, obviously we do have replays. So if you do a show for at least 20 minutes, then replays will be available for listeners after you go live. But when you're live, there's a small window of opportunity for people to find you. So you just want to keep that in mind as you're planning your show duration.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just
And
like, oh my bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
oh no, you can go.
Okay. I'm used to the time frame. I used to do 4 hours, pretty much at least 4 to 5 times a day for streaming. So that's why I was asking because I know they had a limited amount of hours that we had to at least exceed before anything goes into that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that pretty much answers for me on that part. And then the computer
Well,
part.
yeah, that's a common question as well. But AMP is mobile only, so you either need a phone or a tablet to go live on AMP. At this time, we do not have a desktop version, and the goal behind that is we want to make it as easy as possible. So really, all you need, like certainly you can have the fancy professional audio setups with the microphones, but really all you need is your device to go live. You can use line-in headphones, but that's all you need to go live. If you are interested, if anyone on this call, if you're interested in some of those setups, we do have a guide that I'll send over as a follow-up. So I'll send that over. If you have any questions about that, feel free to email me.
Okay.
Hi, Ed. How are you? Welcome. I don't know if he can hear us, but we're gonna keep going. Okay, he can. Awesome. So any other questions about the Creator Fund before we go on to testing our shows together? Okay, awesome. So everyone has a profile, correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yep. Awesome. So you've already downloaded AMP, you've already signed in, so I'm going to skip over this. We're going to go to show setup. And so my goal here with doing show setup together is that I have had some creators who go live, and while they're live, they're trying to figure out, oh, how do I play my music? How do I add music? And so I don't want you all to go live and you're trying to fumble through and try to figure that out. So we're going to take the time to do a test show or a sample show together. Just as a heads up, it does take, some time to get your flow. The best way to learn is by doing. So we're going to set up about a show for about 10 minutes or so, and we'll go from there. So I want everyone to whip out their AMP apps. So before I do that, I want everyone to make sure your AMP handle is in the chat. I see we have Chad's and we have Emily's. If you can drop in your AMP handle in the chat so that we can look for each other's shows. And if you're on your computer, chat should be on the top. It should be on the left-hand side of Chime. Awesome. So first things first, what you're going to do is find the create button on AMP. So whenever you first open AMP on the home page, you'll see create, or if you're already on your profile, you'll see it on your profile page. So click on create, and when you're there, you'll be taken to the show details page. So you can add in your title, your description. You do have to add topic tags. And so those topic tags, basically that could be the genre, the vibe, the topic that you'll be discussing during your show. So I'll give you a few minutes to fill that out. If you have any questions, let me know. And another thing to note, with topic tags, you can change those from show to show, so you don't have to do the same ones each time you go live. And while you all are setting that up, I'm going to give you all a follow from my account. So Chad says, do you recommend either an iPad or Android tablet? You could do either one.
Okay.
So yeah, obviously you can access AMP on either tablet. We found that they're both great for hosting, so either one. And so is everyone good on show details or do you need more time?
I'm good.
All good.
I have a question about the options. So, will the show contain mature themes or music, and listeners can capture and share 30 seconds of audio? I'm mostly wondering about the second one. Have you have much experience with that? Where do these 30-second audio clips show up, and what are they primarily used for?
Yeah, great question. So I'll answer about the second option there, which is listeners can capture 30 seconds of audio. So essentially, when you're live, you can encourage your listeners to if you have that enabled, they can clip the last 30 seconds. So let's say that you said something spicy and somebody wants to save it and share it, they can clip it. Or let's say you're alternatively, if you're saying something inspirational and someone was really moved by that, they can clip those last 30 seconds and they can share that as well. So what'll happen is they clip it, they can then download it as like an MP3 file, and then they share it. Some people have had their listeners clip their shows and then tag them in their social media posts and then they repost it. So that's typically, it's a great way for you as the host to connect with your listeners. To answer the question about the other option that's already enabled about mature themes or music. So if you want to play like the non-clean versions of songs, we definitely recommend that you have that. And then to my point earlier, if you think that you're going to be discussing mature topics, then you also want to have that enabled as well. So next, after you have your details completed, you should be able to click on continue to show setup. From there, you'll be able to access the playlist feature where you can create your set list. So a couple of things to note there, you click on playlists, you can search for songs. Whenever you're searching for songs, you can long press the songs that come up to get a preview. That's always helpful for me because one time I thought I was playing like the regular version and it's the house version, and the house version was great, but that's just not the one that I thought I was adding to my playlist. But you can add songs to your playlist. And so I'm going to give you all a few minutes to add about 3 to 5 songs to your set list. And I know it can take a few minutes to figure out, what vibe you want to curate. So once you all are finished adding those 3 to 5 songs, just give me like a thumbs up or feel free to come off mute and let me know when you're ready. Are you good to go, Chad?
Yes, I am.
With
Sorry.
Okay, all good. So if anyone is already, it looks like Ed is ready to go as well. So if you're still creating your playlist, that's totally fine. Feel free to keep doing that. A thing to note is that you can add and change the sequence of your playlist when you're live as well. So everything doesn't have to be set up before you go live. If you're ready, what you want to do from here is go back to that main page. So you're in the playlist section. You go over to the show tab and that's where you can go live. So again, we're gonna do a test show together. We aren't gonna be live long, just long enough for you to play a couple of songs and get the feel for the experience. So you press go live, and then you'll see a countdown, and then that means you're live. So whenever you're ready, press go live, and I'll be here for questions.
So I'm doing it on my phone. Should I hear the music right now?
So in order to hear the music, you have to press play. So you'll go back to your playlist and you'll press the play button, and then your first song
That's
will
right.
play.
That's right. I
Yep.
forgot. Thank you.
Are we doing this one at a time? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, everyone can go live at the same time. I do recommend that you all go on mute while you're live. And then but obviously, oh, that's me playing the song. Um, when you're live, obviously, if you have questions anytime during your show, come off mute.
Sorry, I had to redo mine again. All of my info got erased.
Oh, no worries. Ed, um, did you happen to exit out of the show or what happened? Okay, all good. We'll be here. But to your point, can the viewer see the playlist? They can't see the playlist, but they can see whenever you have songs playing, and they can actually add it. There's a button that they can click to add it to their own personal My Music playlist.
It would be interesting to see the different perspectives, I guess.
You mean from the perspective of the listener?
Yeah, I just mentioned like, what if we, like, if I were to exit this now and go and actually be a consumer, like, it's the exact same app, right? From like a creator versus a non-creator perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For the most part,
So,
whenever you're the object, oh, go ahead.
no, I think you were alluding to, like, if you were using it, then you would either be using it as a consumer or like a creator.
Yeah. So, yeah, and in terms of what you see on the creator side, the only thing that's different is the controls that you have on the show. So obviously for listeners, they can see your chat. So if your chat is popping off, they can chime in. But they just can't see your playlist and what you have queued up next. And then Emily, it also looks like you have another question of should we do 50-50 live and not live?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to listen to other people as well
Oh yeah.
and like see what the perspective
Yeah,
is.
definitely. Yeah, definitely encourage that. If you like Emily, you can drop into a few folks shows who are here. It looks like Dope Boy Beats is getting it, like he's talking. Awesome.
So, Emily, what do you mean by 50-50 live and not live?
So the Go Live feature is the, I guess, creator
Yeah.
standpoint. So I was saying, like, what if we created the shows and then like 50% of people would drop in on other people's, and then we
Oh,
can try the other features like the chat, the show. Because right now it seems like Holly's the only one who's using that. I'm not sure
Yeah,
if I can
so
actually. That's funny. I think I'm actually talking within the app as
yeah,
well
if
as
you're
this call.
if your music isn't mute playing, then you're probably off mute. You automatically come off of mute whenever your music stops. So you can play another song while you're live.
Oh, it's
I have a quick
interesting. And you can
question.
actually.
Sorry,
Yep.
Emily, I apologize. Go ahead.
I was just noticing that you can clip your own audio as well,
Oh, that's very
which is cool.
interesting. Yeah.
My one question is, when you are creating the show, right? Will you always have to do the show title, topics, and details every time you schedule your show in the future, or when you're about to go live?
So for now, we have gotten the feedback for creators to be able to save the show and save their playlists. And we shared that with our technical team. So that's something that they're working on as well. So yeah, for now. But great question. Ayana, how's it going for you? Any questions over there? I saw that you started your show as well.
when you're running your show, you can't have it go from song to song, right? You have to physically hit the play button for each song, correct?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And you can pause a song, and I was told that you can pause a song only once. Is that correct?
You can pause the song as many times as you like. And it's totally up to you in terms of I know for me when I do my shows I like to just talk in between the songs. But I have one of
Yep.
my coworkers who loves to like when his favorite part comes on, he's like, this is my part right here. So it's up to you in terms of what you want to do.
Okay.
Yep. So there's one last thing before I know we're at the 12:30 or 9:30 mark, depending on when you're, calling in from. There's one last thing I just want to make sure you all know how to do, and then we'll talk about those tips, best practices. So when you're live, you should see a microphone that is outlined. Do you all see that? It should say enable call in. If you want to invite callers up, or let's say you want to have a guest join you for your show, all you have to do is click on that button, and then people will be able to call in. And it's up to you. Basically, they request to call in. So you can see the queue of people who are requesting to join. And you, as the creator and the host of the show, you get to choose who you let up, how long they stay up. You have full control over that. So just wanted to point that out so that, whenever you go live, you know how to enable callers.
Is there no in-app notification? Like, would I be able to push an invite to somebody?
So you can't push an invite to someone. You can just say you do get a queue of people who call in. So let's say you get 5 people who call in and you want that one person to be able to join, you just click accept for their request.
When
And
you're
you can
doing
have
your,
up
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you can have up to 5 people join you at any given time. But
5
yep, but go
call-ins.
ahead. Yep, exactly.
Do you see all of the people that are listening to you at the time when you're running your show? Do you see their handles anywhere,
So the
or
way
just in the
that you can
chat?
Yep. So it's primarily the chat. So as a host, what I do recommend is you encouraging people to say hello, come into the chat. You can also see, I think, 2 or 3 icons whenever you're live, so you can see that. But the best way to, connect with your community is to engage with them through the chat or have them call up.
Yep. Hmm.
Yep. Awesome. So any more questions? If you all like, you can end your shows. I just want to make sure you all had the taste for it, got to see what it was like. Um, Hopefully you feel good and that that was helpful. From here, I am going to talk about best practices and next steps for, again, just starting out. So we went through, all the features of adding your playlist. These are some things to keep in mind as you're just getting started. Please remember to share your shows. That's one of the biggest like things that we see a lot of new creators and new hosts forget to do. So whenever you are on your profile, you can tap that share button, and what'll happen is we'll auto generate a URL as well as an asset that you can share on socials. So we definitely recommend sharing that out before you go live. It's also best practice to schedule your shows in advance if you know your schedule. So whenever you were in the show detail section, you saw that note where you can schedule for later. That's right above that continue to show setup. So you can schedule your shows for later, and once you have shows scheduled, share out your profile so that people know when to tune in. And then another golden rule, you all probably heard me say this at the beginning of our time together, is that, AMP is about community, so don't go live alone. Make sure that you are telling family members, friends, buddies, having them join you, having them, invite them up to talk with you during your show so that it can be a good time. It looks like we may have another question. Can you only schedule one show? So you can schedule as many shows as you like, Ed. So again, going back to best practices, whatever your schedule is, you can schedule your shows in advance and people will see them on your profile. I also recommend, if you know your schedule, adding that in your bio. So if it's like Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Saturday, whatever that is, that's another way for people to know what your schedule is. So that is pretty much all that I have for you today. As next steps, what I would definitely recommend is that, definitely try another sample show, another test show. If you like to just dive in, feel free to do that as well. Um, for me, what you'll see is an email. I'm going to send a recap of all of the tips that we talked about today. I'm also going to ask for your showtime in the event that you know it already, because what I'll do is I'll share it with my creator team so that we can be on the lookout for you. So that's pretty much it. Any final thoughts or questions before we go today? Great.
I don't think so.
It seems like we are good to go. I also want to ask you all that we're always trying to improve our programs and our offerings. So would love if you could give us some feedback. I just dropped that survey link into the chat, so that would be super helpful. So yes, thank you all so much for spending your Friday morning / afternoon with me. Appreciate it. And I hope to see you in these AMP streets.
Yeah,
Thank you,
definitely.
Haley.
Thank
I
you.
really enjoy the direction of this app, and I would definitely love to get like some feedback, not feedback, but more like updates for if it ever does come to the point of where we can, like, for the creator point, to be able to use the PC point, because I would like to use my mic and everything at that point, because it makes me feel a lot more comfortable in that point. But and the point of using the phone and making it so simple is amazing. Like
Mm.
I remember how hard it used to be to do any of it, but this is like incredible. So thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity.
I actually am using a microphone with some headphones on my iPhone, that was my biggest like worry. Not, I didn't want to use my headset or anything like that. So
Yeah.
having my Samsung Q2U has been, yeah.
Yeah. And so also, like I said, I will send this in the email as well. But for anyone who's interested, we do have an AMP and audio guide. So if you do have microphones that you want to connect, here's a guide that lays out, the ways that you can do that. And then as I mentioned, if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to email me as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Awesome.
you
Well,
so much.
thank you all again. Appreciate your time, and I hope you all have a great weekend.
Thank
Have a
you.
good weekend, everybody.
Thank
You too.
you.
Y'all
Good
later.
luck
Have
on
a
your
great
shows,
weekend.
guys.
Yeah,
Good
you
luck.
too. Bye.
Will the
Have a
chat be
great
staying up a little
weekend.
while? Because I would like to add everybody on my.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
okay, thank
Yeah, I can leave it open.
Yeah, I'm following you guys, so I'm doing it right now.
you.
Definitely encourage that. Follow each other. You'll get notified whenever you all go live. Definitely recommend following one another.
Hallie, did you drop yours?
I didn't. I just went around following you all. I'll I'll drop mine as well.
Life. Okay.
Yeah, the vibes that we have just even starting off today were great. So I'm excited to see the shows that you all do.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Emily.
Gotta make sure.
I think I'm following everybody. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you. Bye. Thanks.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.
Later.